Hi guys, I wanted to just talk to you today about how to lose stubborn belly fat because this is a very common question and it keeps coming to me mostly with women who are in their mid-40s and going through this change of hormones and eventually even through menopause. So if you are having belly fat and you cannot lose weight even though you're dieting and you're exercising and you're just having trouble losing the belly fat, it boils down to many reasons, but the three that I've seen most often that makes a really good trifecta in creating this stubbornness of losing the belly fat are the three elements. The number one is stress. So if you have a lot of stress, a lot of cortisol in the body, that could affect the body's ability to react to insulin. So insulin, it's a hormone made by your pancreas to bind to your cell membrane. There's receptors on your cell. And when it binds to it, receptors will open up the door to let in glucose, to let in the sugar, so it will have more energy, it has the nutrients. It's kind of like you're in your house, somebody rings the bell, you open the door, and they give you food. Okay, so, but what happens when you have a lot of stress is it impacts the sensitivity to insulin. So the cells are not hearing the doorbell. The other factor that comes into play is if your female hormones like estrogen and progesterone are starting to decline. Estrogen has a very direct connection to the sensitivity level of insulin. So if your estrogen and progesterone are declining, then you're becoming less and less sensitive to the insulin. Again, not hearing the doorbell. And the third factor is if you have a high carb diet, like a very carby, sweet diet. So it's acidic, meaning you eat bread, you eat cereals, you eat pasta, you eat rice, you have ice cream, you have sweets, baked foods, cookies, crackers, sweets, all of those things jack up the insulin to the point where it's too much. It's like somebody's ringing your bell 20, 30 times a day. And you're just like, I've had it. I don't want to open the door anymore. So those three combined, and if you're resonating with that, this happens a lot in our 40s, especially if you have to deal with aging parents, in-laws, children, issues, you know, all financial issues, aging issues, hormonal issues. So the thing with stress, female hormones, plus a high carb diet, this will all generate and lead to insulin resistance, meaning your cells are now being starved and you're craving food because it's just hungry. Like you're not feeling satisfied after a meal, and you're holding on to this weight and you're not able to let it go. So how do you reverse insulin resistance in that case? So to reverse that, it's really going on a very low carb diet, and you can do it for about 30 days, 60 days, and you can do it for a prolonged period of time as long as it feels good and you're seeing the results. Most people that go on a kind of a plant-based ketogenic or even a meat protein-based ketogenic diet, they often will be able to lose the weight combined with certain supplements. So what does that really look like? Well, basically you would abstain from the carbs, like the white rice, the refined carbs, the pastas, the French fries, the chips, the popcorn, the fried foods, and all the sweets, all the baked goods. And so, in the morning you may have omelet with vegetables, you may have soups, you may have a green drink, and then, your snacks could be nuts and seeds, it could be cheese, lots of vegetables, and using healthy fats. So what you're trying to do is now, instead of getting your cells so dependent on wanting glucose, you're now switching it to using fat as energy. So if you switch it to using fat, that means you take away all the sugary stuff, all the carby stuff that eventually turns into glucose. Take that out of diet and introduce more healthy fats like avocados, coconut oil, fats that are in the eggs and in the organic meats, if you can get healthy meats. So, olive oil, just increase more of the healthy fats to get your energy. And stop snacking. That would be a really good approach. Just have your 3 meals. Stop snacking, stop knocking on that door. And another approach is to do intermittent fasting. So you basically shrink down your eating window to about 8 hours. So you're literally eating between, let's say, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. or 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. It's kind of like that. So you skip your breakfast, but you can have herbal teas, nothing sweet. And then in the around 11 o'clock time frame or 10 o'clock, you can have an omelet, or, and then have another meal later on. So it's really to shrink down that eating window. That's a really good way to reset your insulin sensitivity. It's kind of like taking a break from the doorbell, people coming in and out. So you just take a break from it, and now your ears are more sensitive to the ring of the doorbell. You're not tuning out, or you're not ignoring it anymore, kind of thing. The other thing is to reduce stress at the same time. And the supplements that can help are chromium. Chromium is really good to allow your insulin to be more reactive. There's also, and it also reduces the sugar cravings, but it also allows your sugar regulation to be more even in the blood. Cinnamon as well, if you can incorporate 1 teaspoon of cinnamon daily. Magnesium is good, potassium, the minerals are really good. So all the green foods, cruciferous vegetables, all the healthy oils. But in terms of supplement, definitely chromium would be on the list. Cinnamon would be on the list. B vitamins, potassium, zinc, vitamin D, and increase your fiber intake, removing sugar, even artificial sugar, because even the taste of something sweet could raise the insulin levels, because basically your body thinks that it needs insulin, so it kind of prepares the pancreas, and the pancreas can become overwhelmed over time if you have too much carb, so it needs a break. So basically removing sugar, artificial sweeteners, alcohol, that will be good for at least 30 days to reset your insulin sensitivity. And also, you're going to start noticing the belly fat decreasing, your blood pressure might be normalizing, because when you have a lot of insulin in the body, in the blood, and you have a high carb diet, your arteries can get stiffer. It becomes an acidic environment. Your arteries can actually get inflamed. You could actually get more cholesterol packed onto the arteries because of the inflammation, and that could increase your blood pressure. So getting rid of the carbs, getting rid of the sugars, that is going to normalize your blood pressure. You're going to have more energy. You're not going to be as hungry with the meals that you do end up eating. It'll be satiating because you're actually absorbing, and the cells are allowing the nutrition to go in. So you will be satisfied after your meal. And so basically those are my tips. You could also take supplements to increase your progesterone, your female hormone. Remember I was talking about how the decrease of it plus the increase of stress can affect your insulin resistance. So you could take things like liquid Vitex to support your progesterone. You can take iodine to help your metabolism, and that could also speed up your weight loss. So those are my tips, and I hope it helps. And if you have any questions and you want like a meal plan or a more customized protocol, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to continue this conversation with you.